Good morning, TGO traders and investors. Whiz here, the primary and weekly options model portfolio manager here at TGO. Quick reminder, make sure you sign up. Click on the link in this email to register for our live trading session this Friday. Going to be covering the result of the Fed meeting. How I'm going to be trading these markets going forward as a result of what the Fed does, and also taking a look at the budget and debt battles coming up, and a preview of Q3 earnings. And we're going to take a look at some potential earnings trades, some potential Feds trades, just a whole lot of good stuff coming up this Friday. So through that on the flight schedule, just to give us all a little bit of strategic and operational overview of what's coming down the pike. So make sure you sign up for that. Obviously, thoughts and prayers go out to the victims of the horrific rampage up at the Navy Yard. Checked with a lot of buddies of mine that work up there, and they're all safe, thank God. But just, senseless violence. So hopefully we find out what was behind it. But thoughts and prayers go out to the victims and their families. Just, you wake up and you never know the time or the place that you're going to get called home. So live every day to the fullest. Obviously, folks, the UN and their clown car of investigators, clear evidence of chemical weapons in the Syria attack. However, they don't know who used them. So that really doesn't do any good for us. So that's going to give some cover to the Obama administration to press for what? Just like a few good men, I strenuously object to the use of chemical weapons. Who cares, folks? I mean, seriously, Putin's already outplayed the president. Now the liberal media in the United States is trying to hit the ball over the net back at Putin, saying, aha, now you have to deliver and show us that they're going to get rid of these and take care. Really, like Putin cares what the world thinks of him. He already knows he looks like he saved the president's life, and that he looks like the good guy here. So he's going to drag his feet. Assad will drag his feet, and this thing will go on for a year and a half, 2 years, with the president not doing anything. And this is always good news that half of the Syrian rebels are jihadis fighting for Al-Qaeda-linked groups. An MOD report came out and said, Ministry of Defense report over in Britain said. So good stuff. Good stuff going on over in Asia. I'm starting the SITREP today is a little high level because I'm getting ready to start my morning primary live trade brief every Tuesday morning, 0900 on the East Coast. Really going to see good news out of Asia. Really liking what's going on in Japan with Abe and Abenomics, and the Bank of Japan and Kuroda and what he's done. The kind of really did some good work here with a nice soft landing, and that's kind of opposite of what's going on here in the United States. The bond market's actually going into a tizzy here. And tightening credit, folks, is going to be the result of any Fed action, right? And the Fed's kind of hitting the ball across that net, saying, well, it's up to bank lending standards and everything like that. Well, you folks, you guys know banks aren't stupid. They're like casinos. They don't look like they do because they give away money. They look like they do because they make money. And with tighter credit, they're going to pass that on to the consumer. It's going to slow down the housing market. This massive auto recovery that we've seen over the past couple months, with everybody saying, well, thank God I got my car when I did, and other people saying, well, I'm going to drive my clunker a little bit more, like I'm saying. So might see a little bit of a speed break on the economy here. So obviously the biggest thing on the flight schedule is the beginning of our two-day Fed meeting today. We got some CPI numbers, so inflation is a little bit flat here. Nothing massive to worry about, but we really are, in my opinion, in a stagflationary economy. We're going to get some clarity into the housing market today, the NAHB, National Association of Home Builders report later today, and then obviously tomorrow, the biggest thing, the FOMC statement and the press conference there. Thursday, weekly unemployment claims, Philly Fed. Yesterday, we saw the Empire State Fed completely implode and fall out of bed. So it'll be interesting to see what's going on just south of there in the Philly region, and the Conference Board leading index of economic indicators. That'll be a big report that I'll be looking at. it looks at 10 economic indicators: employment, new orders, consumer confidence, housing, stock market, credit trends, interest rate spreads, everything. So that's a big bellwether for the market. And as we saw with soft retail last Friday, soft University at Michigan, we're seeing really the second half of this year starting to turn into a little bit of a soft patch, in my opinion. And then check this out. Friday, we got a whole bunch of Fed lieutenants running out to the microphone. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, because if you remember, after the last Fed meeting, and my Top Gun options traders know this, let's just, picture's worth 1,000 words here. So let's take a look. After the last Fed meeting, so here's the Fed meeting. Oh my gosh, they're actually going to do it. They're going to taper. And then what happened? During that time period right there, that rally was when all these Fed lieutenants ran out and said, just kidding, everybody relax, we're going to be here forever, with a safety net underneath the market. So are they going to do that again? Or are the Fed members, after, if they announce tapering on Wednesday, are they going to come out and say, hey, we're serious about this? Or are they, because my Top Gun options traders know there's always a however, comma, or but. The Fed is easing monetary policy because we feel economic conditions are quack, 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 comma. However, we feel that, so there's always a however, but, or a comma with a lot of what the Fed does. So is that what these guys are going to be saying on Friday? So I'm ready. I'm having a great time trading this market. It's awesome. Why? Because I love the volatility. If you follow, and you should be as an options trader, or even just a, quote, normal investor, you needed to be watching the VIX yesterday. As the market rallied that 140 points, the VIX went through the roof. Market up, VIX up, that's a hold your nose rally. And obviously the VIX was up as well, because people, going into a Fed meeting, there's a lot of uncertainty, so they're going to scramble for protection there. But just know that, a majority of the time, the VIX goes down when the market goes up. It's got an inverse relationship, right? When market's going down, people panic, they go get protection. But I'd say about 10% of the time, the VIX is going to go up when the market's up, and that's a good canary in the coal mine that gives you a heads up, like, you know what, people aren't believing this, or they might believe it, but with one hand they're buying, with the other hand they're buying protection. Okay, so very interesting. Going to be an interesting couple of days. Make sure, like I said, you join me this Friday at Top Gun Options. We're going to do a live trade brief, and hopefully get a couple of you guys to maybe send in your trade ideas, and we're going to get them red teamed. What's that mean? We're going to become your enemy. It's what we do in a fighter squadron. Before we get airborne on any mission, we just don't take the plan that a couple of us came up with and go, hey, we're brilliant, let's go execute this. That's how you get shot down. We say, hey, we're brilliant, we're going to go execute this. But before we get airborne, let's have a couple of our squadron mates who weren't involved in our planning session rip it apart and become the enemy. And they point out some good stuff usually that we missed, and then we make our plan even tighter. Those guys become the enemy. They become worse than the enemy, and make our plan tighter. So that's what we're going to do. We've been doing the Trading Red Team in our primary live trade brief, and it's been going awesome. People really enjoy it. They come with their trade idea. Here's what I'm looking at. Here's my strategic mindset. Here's the tactic behind it. Here's how I adjust it. What do you guys got for me? And then their fellow Top Gun options traders make that trade tighter. So definitely stop by this Friday, see what I'm doing going forward with the Fed and the debt ceiling and the budget battles and Q3 earnings, and it's going to be a good trading session this Friday. So I'll see you there. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and I'll be back with Wednesday's market SITREP to see what the Fed's going to do. We'll see you.